The galaxy was in chaos. A mysterious plague swept through planets, leaving behind fear and despair. On the vibrant world of Zenthera, the streets were filled with panicked citizens. Shops closed early, and families barricaded themselves inside their homes, hoping to avoid the deadly sickness. People whispered about how the disease spread, but no one knew how to stop it. Across the stars, on a small blue planet called Earth, scientists watched the news unfold with grave concern. They were aware of the chaos in the galaxy and felt a sense of dread. One scientist, Dr. Elena Ramirez, was especially worried. She had dedicated her life to studying human biology and had discovered something remarkable. Humans possessed a unique immunity to many diseases, including the current plague. Dr. Ramirez gathered her team in the lab. "We need to act fast," she urged. "This plague is unlike anything we've seen. If it reaches Earth, it could be catastrophic." Her colleagues nodded in agreement. They had been monitoring the situation closely and knew that if the plague reached Earth, their world would not stand a chance. As news reports continued to show the devastation, the Galactic Empire took notice. They had long been a powerful force in the galaxy, but even they were struggling to contain the outbreak. Alien leaders met in secret to discuss their options. They realized that Earth, a planet they often ignored, might hold the key to their survival. "Capture a human," one leader suggested, his eyes gleaming with ambition. "They have an immunity that we don't understand. If we can study them, we might find a way to defeat this plague." The leaders nodded, each one eager to take action. They dispatched ships to Earth ready to capture a human for study. Meanwhile, Dr. Ramirez and her team worked tirelessly, hoping to find a solution to help their galaxy. Back on Earth, a group of explorers prepared for a mission. They planned to study alien life on a distant planet, unaware of the looming danger. As they launched their ship into space, excitement filled the air. The team was made up of brave individuals, eager to learn and explore. The leader of the group, Captain Mark Thompson, briefed his crew. "We're about to make history," he said, a smile on his face. "Let's show the galaxy what humans are made of." The crew cheered, their spirits high as they traveled through the stars. But trouble awaited them. As their ship approached the alien planet, they were ambushed by ships from the Galactic Empire. Bright lasers lit up the darkness of space and alarms blared on the human ship. The crew quickly sprang into action, trying to defend their vessel. "Man the weapons!" Captain Thompson shouted, his heart racing. The crew fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. The Empire's ships surrounded them, and it was only a matter of time before they would be captured. On the alien ships, the Empire's soldiers celebrated their victory. They had successfully captured the human vessel. Inside the ship, the explorers fought fiercely, but one by one they were overpowered. Captain Thompson managed to send a distress signal before he was taken captive, hoping that someone on Earth would come to their rescue. As the Galactic Empire celebrated their capture, Dr. Ramirez and her team on Earth received the distress signal. Their hearts sank as they realized what had happened. "They've been taken!" she exclaimed, fear gripping her. "We have to do something!" Determined to save their friends, Dr. Ramirez and her team quickly formulated a plan. They gathered information on the Galactic Empire and worked on a way to reach the captured humans. But time was running out, and the plague continued to spread throughout the galaxy. The galaxy held its breath, unaware of the unfolding events. The Empire believed they had gained the upper hand, but they had underestimated the resilience of the human spirit. As the darkness of the plague loomed, hope flickered in the hearts of those who believed that together they could find a way to overcome any challenge. The stars twinkled in the vastness of space as the human ship, the Horizon, sailed through the darkness. Inside, Captain Mark Thompson and his crew were unaware of the danger that awaited them. They had just finished their preparations for exploring a distant planet when a sudden alarm pierced the calm. "Captain, we're being targeted!" shouted Maya, the ship's navigator, her fingers flying over the controls. The crew's excitement turned to fear as enemy ships emerged from the shadows, surrounding them like wolves closing in on their prey. "Brace for impact!" Captain Thompson commanded. His heart raced as he tried to maintain control of the ship. The crew responded quickly, each member performing their duties with precision, but they were outmatched. Lasers fired from the enemy ships, striking the horizon. The ship rocked violently, alarms blaring in a cacophony of sound. The crew fought bravely, returning fire with everything they had, but the Empire's ships were equipped with advanced technology that far exceeded their own. "We can't hold them off much longer," Maya yelled, her voice trembling with urgency. "We have to try to escape," Captain Thompson shouted back. He knew that if they didn't find a way out, they would be captured. Just then, a powerful blast hit the ship's control panel, causing sparks to fly. Maya gasped as the controls went dark. "We've lost power! We're dead in the water!" In that moment of chaos, the enemy ships moved in closer. A boarding party from the Galactic Empire launched a strike, using energy beams to breach the hull of the Horizon. The crew fought fiercely, but the enemy soldiers were ruthless and highly trained.
"Fight!
"Don't give up!" Captain Thompson urged, but one by one his crew was overwhelmed. They were outnumbered, and soon they were taken prisoner. As the last of the crew was captured, Captain Thompson struggled against the soldiers holding him down. "You won't get away with this!" he shouted defiantly, his spirit unbroken. But his words fell on deaf ears as the soldiers dragged him away. On the alien ship, the crew members were separated and locked in different cells. Captain Thompson found himself in a dimly lit room, the sounds of the Empire's soldiers echoing in the background. He knew they were studying him, but he refused to show fear. He had to find a way to escape. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Ramirez and her team back on Earth received the distress signal. They were horrified to learn that the Horizon had been captured by the Galactic Empire. "We need to act fast," Dr. Ramirez declared, her mind racing with ideas. "If they study our crew, they could learn about our immunity and put Earth at risk." The team quickly gathered information about the Empire's ships, hoping to find a way to rescue their friends. They worked day and night, poring over data and creating a plan. "We have to get to the Empire's stronghold," Dr. Ramirez said, determination in her eyes. Back in captivity, Captain Thompson was being interrogated by the Empire's lead scientist, Dr. Zarnock. "Tell me about your immunity," Dr. Zarnock demanded, his alien face twisted in a mix of curiosity and menace. "Your species survived this plague while many others fell. How is this possible?" "I'll never tell you anything," Captain Thompson replied boldly, his voice steady. He knew that revealing any secrets could put Earth in danger. Dr. Zarnock frowned, frustrated by the humans' resistance. "Very well. We will find another way to extract the information we need." He signaled to his guards, and they dragged Captain Thompson away to a dark, cold cell. Days passed, and the crew remained separated, each one trying to come up with a plan. Captain Thompson spent his time observing his surroundings, looking for weaknesses in the security. He found a way to communicate with the others by tapping on the walls of their cells, creating a simple code. "Stay strong. We'll find a way out," he tapped, hoping that his message would reach his crew. Little did he know, his message had sparked hope in their hearts. On Earth, Dr. Ramirez and her team were making progress. They had developed a new device that could potentially disable the Empire's ships. "If we can get this into space, we might have a chance to save them," she said, her voice filled with hope. As the Galactic Empire continued their experiments, the fate of Captain Thompson and his crew hung in the balance. They had faced unimaginable challenges, but their spirits remained strong. They knew that together, they could overcome anything, even the powerful grip of the Empire. The battle for their freedom had just begun. Days turned into nights aboard the Galactic Empire's ship, and Captain Mark Thompson remained locked in his cold, dark cell. Despite the hopelessness of his situation, he refused to give in. He spent each day plotting and waiting for an opportunity to escape. In his heart, he believed that his crew was still alive and fighting just like him. Meanwhile, Dr. Zarnock, the Empire's lead scientist, was growing impatient. The experiments on Captain Thompson were proving challenging. The human's resilience and stubbornness frustrated him. He paced back and forth in his lab, surrounded by alien technology and samples from other captured species. His team was working tirelessly, trying to unlock the secret behind human immunity. "Why can't you just cooperate?" Dr. Zarnock snapped, glaring at Captain Thompson through the thick glass of the observation room. "Your species survived the plague that wiped out countless lives across the galaxy. I need to know how." Captain Thompson stood tall, his expression defiant. "You won't find out anything from me. You can't force me to reveal my secrets." He knew that if he disclosed any information about human biology, it could endanger Earth and everyone he loved. Frustrated, Dr. Zarnock turned to his team. "We must find another way to obtain this information. Increase the dosage of the serum and monitor the effects closely." The scientists nodded, preparing to conduct more invasive tests. Meanwhile, in another part of the ship, the other members of the crew were facing their own challenges. Maya, the navigator, found herself locked in a small cell next to another prisoner. The alien beside her looked worried but also curious. "Who are you?" Maya asked, trying to break the tension. "I'm from Zenthera," the alien replied, glancing nervously at the guards patrolling the area. "They captured me when the plague spread to my planet. I was trying to escape." Maya's heart sank. "We need to find a way out of here. They can't keep us locked up forever." With determination in her eyes, she began to tap on the walls, hoping to communicate with Captain Thompson and the others. The rhythmic knocks echoed through the ship, carrying a message of hope. Back in his cell, Captain Thompson heard the familiar tapping. It was a code, a signal that his crew was still alive. He began to respond, creating a simple pattern that conveyed his plan to escape. Together, they could break free. As the experiments continued, Dr. Zarnok's team began to notice something extraordinary. The serum they were using to analyze Captain Thompson's blood was producing unexpected results. "This human's cells are highly adaptable," one scientist exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. "They are responding to the serum in ways we've never seen before." Dr. Zarnok leaned closer, intrigued. "What do you mean?" "Their immune cells are working together to fight off the serum almost as if they know they're under attack. It's remarkable," the scientist continued. "If we can isolate this reaction, we might be able to create a treatment that could save our people from the plague." Dr. Zarnok's eyes lit up with ambition. "This changes everything! We must study this human further." He turned to his team, issuing orders for more aggressive testing. But in his eagerness, he underestimated the human spirit. As the days passed, Captain Thompson and his crew continued to communicate through their tapping code. They devised a plan to escape during the next shift change when the guards would be distracted. Maya shared her ideas with the alien prisoner, who nodded eagerly. "I can help you," the Zenthera alien said. "I know this ship well. If we work together, we can find a way out." Finally, the moment arrived. The crew was ready. Captain Thompson, fueled by determination, prepared to make his move. With each beat of his heart, he could feel the strength of his crew beside him. They were not just prisoners. They were warriors, fighting for their freedom. Meanwhile, Dr. Zarnok and his team were busy conducting experiments, unaware of the storm brewing within their own ship. They were so focused on their quest for knowledge that they failed to see the strength and unity forming among the captives. As the guards changed shifts, Captain Thompson signaled to Maya and the others. They had one chance, and they had to take it. With adrenaline pumping, they moved quickly, breaking free from their cells and into the hallway. "Let's go!" Captain Thompson whispered fiercely. They dashed down the corridors, hearts racing, knowing that this was their moment to reclaim their freedom and prove that the human spirit could not be contained. With the revelation of their strength, they were ready to face whatever came next. The battle for their lives had begun, and they would not go down without a fight. The Galactic Empire had awakened a force they never expected, the unstoppable spirit of humanity. Captain Mark Thompson and his crew burst into the dimly lit corridor, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. They had finally escaped their cells, but they knew they were still deep within the heart of the Galactic Empire's ship. Every moment counted as they raced against time to find a way out. "Follow me," Captain Thompson urged, leading the way down the narrow passage. The metallic walls of the ship echoed with their footsteps. They had to be careful not to attract the attention of the guards. Maya, the navigator, ran beside him, her eyes scanning for any signs of danger. As they turned a corner, they spotted a pair of guards chatting lazily. Captain Thompson quickly signaled for everyone to stop. "We need to take them out," he whispered, clenching his fists. The crew nodded, their determination clear. They knew they had to fight if they wanted to escape. Maya took a deep breath. "I can create a distraction. When they turn to look, we'll strike." With a nod of agreement, she stepped back and threw a small metal object down the corridor. The clang echoed loudly, causing the guards to turn in surprise. "What was that?" one of them asked, raising his weapon. "Now!" Captain Thompson shouted. The crew rushed forward, surprising the guards. They fought bravely, using their training and teamwork to overpower the alien soldiers. With a swift move, Captain Thompson knocked out the first guard, while Maya tackled the second. Breathing heavily, they quickly searched the guards' uniforms for weapons. Captain Thompson found a stun blaster and handed it to Maya. "This will come in handy." Let's keep moving. They continued down the corridor, each step bringing them closer to freedom. But the ship was large, and they had to find a way to reach the hangar where the Empire kept their ships. As they ran, they heard alarms blaring in the distance, signaling their escape had been discovered. "We need to hurry," Maya urged, glancing back at the sound of footsteps echoing behind them. "They'll send more guards." Just then, they came across a control room filled with alien technology. "This might be useful," Captain Thompson said, rushing inside. He quickly searched for a map of the ship. After a few frantic moments, he found a holographic display showing the layout. "There's a hangar on the other side of the ship," he said, pointing to the map. "We need to go through the maintenance tunnels to reach it." With the map memorized, they dashed towards the maintenance area. As they entered the dark tunnel, they moved cautiously, trying to keep their voices low. The walls were tight, and the air felt heavy with tension. "This way?" Maya whispered, leading the group through the narrow space. Suddenly, they heard voices approaching. The crew quickly pressed against the walls, holding their breath as a group of guards passed by, their weapons drawn. As the guards moved on, Captain Thompson released a sigh of relief. "That was close. We can't let our guard down. Keep moving." After what felt like an eternity, they finally reached the hangar door. To their horror, it was locked. "We have to get inside," Captain Thompson said, his heart racing. He tried to access the control panel, but it required a security code. "Stand back," Maya said, taking the blaster. She aimed at the panel, ready to make a way through. "This might be loud!" With a quick pull of the trigger, the panel sparked and fizzled. The door slid open, revealing several ships inside. "We did it!" she exclaimed, excitement bubbling up. "Let's grab one and go," Captain Thompson said, running towards a small ship. The crew hurried inside, working quickly to power up the controls. But just as they were about to take off, alarms blared even louder. "They know we're here," shouted one of the crew members. "We have to go now." Maya worked quickly, her fingers flying over the controls. "I'm trying to initiate launch sequence." The ship's engines hummed to life, but the hangar door began to close, trapping them inside. "Faster!" Captain Thompson urged, glancing back at the approaching guards. They had only seconds left. With one final press of a button, Maya yelled, "We're launching!" The ship shot out of the hangar just as the door closed behind them, narrowly escaping. As they soared into space, the crew cheered with relief. They had made it! Captain Thompson couldn't help but smile. They had faced unimaginable odds, but together they had escaped the Galactic Empire. "We did it!" he shouted, his heart swelling with pride. But he knew the fight was not over. The Empire would come after them, and they had to prepare for what lay ahead. The galaxy was still in danger, and it was up to them to save it. With newfound hope and determination, the crew set their sights on returning to Earth and sharing the truth about their incredible immunity. Their journey was just beginning. The stars shimmered like diamonds as the horizon soared through the vastness of space. Captain Mark Thompson and his crew had narrowly escaped the Galactic Empire, but their journey was far from over. They were determined to return to Earth and warn their people about the threat posed by the Empire. As they flew, the crew gathered in the main control room, their faces filled with relief and excitement. "We did it!" Maya exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with joy. "We escaped!" Captain Thompson smiled at his crew, feeling proud of each one of them. "Yes, but we need to stay alert. The Empire will come after us. We have to prepare for what's next." Dr. Elena Ramirez, who had been working tirelessly back on Earth, was monitoring their communications. "Captain, I've been in contact with Earth Command. They are aware of our escape and are ready to assist us. We need to get back as soon as possible." "Good to hear," Thompson replied, his mind racing with thoughts of how they would confront the Empire. "But first we need to assess our ship's damage and make sure we have enough power to jump to hyperspace." The crew sprang into action, checking the systems and repairing the damaged controls. They worked together seamlessly, each member playing their part. It was a testament to their training and unity forged in the heat of battle. As they worked, Maya approached Captain Thompson, her brow furrowed with concern. "Captain, do you think we can really take on the Empire? They have powerful technology and a vast fleet." He turned to her, sensing her fear. "I believe in us, Maya. We've faced impossible odds before. We have something they don't, the strength of our unity. Together, we can do anything." With renewed determination, the crew continued their repairs. Finally, after several hours of hard work, they were ready to make the jump to hyperspace. Everyone prepare for hyperspace jump, Captain Thompson announced, gripping the controls. On my mark, 3, 2, 1, jump! The ship shook briefly as they entered hyperspace, stars stretching into streaks of light. The crew cheered, relief washing over them. They had escaped the Empire for now, but they knew they had to plan their next move. Back on Earth, Dr. Ramirez was coordinating with military leaders. "We need to prepare for a possible confrontation with the Empire," she said firmly. "We can't underestimate them. They will want revenge." As the Horizon exited hyperspace and approached Earth, Captain Thompson turned to his crew. "We're almost home. We need to be ready to present what we've learned." When they landed, they were met with a mix of cheers and concern from the military personnel gathered. Captain Thompson stepped off the ship, his heart pounding with pride and anxiety. "We have a lot to share," he said, addressing the crowd. Dr. Ramirez stepped forward. "Captain, we've prepared a secure location for you to brief the leaders about the Galactic Empire and what you discovered." The crew followed Dr. Ramirez to a large conference room filled with military officials and scientists. The atmosphere was tense but hopeful. Captain Thompson took a deep breath and began to speak. "We've encountered the Galactic Empire. They possess technology far beyond ours, and they are interested in our immunity to the plague that devastated many worlds." He described their capture, the experiments, and their daring escape. The room listened intently, faces filled with shock and awe as he detailed their experiences. "But we've also learned something important. Our unity is our greatest strength. Together we can face any challenge." As the meeting continued, the leaders began to strategize. "We need to prepare defenses," one general suggested. "If they come for us, we need to be ready." Dr. Ramirez added, "We can also develop countermeasures against their technology, using what we learned from our time on the enemy ship." In the days that followed, Earth began to mobilize. Captain Thompson and his crew worked closely with scientists and military leaders, sharing their knowledge and helping to fortify their defenses. They trained others in the skills they had learned, turning fear into strength. Then, in a dramatic turn of events, they intercepted a communication from the Galactic Empire. "Earth is our target," it stated ominously. "Prepare for an attack." Captain Thompson stood with his crew, ready for whatever was to come. "We knew this would happen," he said, determination in his voice. "Now we must stand together." As the Earth prepared for the coming storm, the crew of the Horizon felt a sense of purpose. They had faced the darkness of captivity and emerged stronger. Together, they were not just a crew, they were a family, united by their experiences and their shared goal of protecting their home. The battle against the Galactic Empire would be fierce, but they were ready. With unity, courage, and their newfound knowledge, they would defend Earth and show the galaxy the true power of humanity. The fight for their future had just begun, and they would face it together.